What is up, fantasy football fools? We are back. A little late, but we're back for the week 7. Is it week 7 recap?
Yep.
Yeah, wow. God, the season's flying by. I know I say that every single week. The season's flying by, but man, it really is. All right, let's get into this week. We're going to obviously start with the mini game as always. I've got 3 on the board this week, and I'm almost certain that means I'm not going to win it. But I think I'm the only one that has more than one this week.
You are. Jeff, I don't think Jeff's been on this board that many times, but Jeff has the most bye weeks. Him and Lou had 4. Both lost their matchups, so whoever had the most total points, which Jeff beat Lubasi this week, so he got number 2. So we will get going with the first generated number. 5. 3.
Haven't got one.
6.
There we go.
8.
All right. Give me one more of those.
2.
Okay. Come on. 6, 8.
8.
Let's go.
Yes.
Yes.
Receptions.
Let's go. This is the first week that I have had the most receptions. I didn't think I would have ever had a shot at that, but Alvin Kamara got 10 by himself this week. So super happy to see that. I finally got some money on the season, so now it doesn't matter if I win because I got $10.
Yes, the $10 matters.
Now my buy-in is only $140. You suckers.
All right, so then I don't want to close anything out because that's what happened last time, and I left the chat. So, all right, so we'll go to scoreboard. I'm just going to exit that out. I'm still here, right?
Yep.
All right, so we'll go to week 7. And just so you guys know, we are watching the Cardinals Packers game right now. I'm watching it on my phone, and he's got the fantasy cast off, so we might, kind of talk about that just a little bit, which makes it maybe a little bit more fun. But we'll go into the first matchup of the week, which is usually me. Yep, which is me. And I beat James. I actually had the most points this game, or this week for anybody. So I actually had a really good week. I think James actually had the second. Yeah, so because DK's big touchdown, Johnny actually beat him. But James was riding the second highest score until that DK touchdown, which always sucks when you're going against the number 1 guy. But it started off well for me. Dearness Johnson, hell of a pickup. Got me 23 right off the bat on Thursday night. Usually Thursdays do not work well for me, but this Thursday did. And everyone actually did pretty good except Julio and Chuba was struggling. That whole Panthers offense really looks bad now. They really want C-Mac back, which I do too. But, yeah, just a good game. Mike Gesicki gave me a goose egg week 1. I dropped him, then I picked him back up, and he's actually done very well for me this year. The last couple weeks, I think last 3 or 4 weeks, he's gotten pretty good scores for a late round tight end. Yeah, pretty good. All double digits except for 1 for the last 5 weeks. Mike Evans, I think, had 3 touchdowns in that game.
Yeah, dude, what the hell?
It was just a fun game to be. I mean, I got the best kicker in the league with Young Ho Koo. I don't know who dropped him, but thank you. But going to James's team, he did very well too. 116 is a really good score. Damian Harris was just carving the Jets up. I think he only had like 12 carries too. 14 carries, 2 touchdowns.
Dude, 2 tutties. That's never a bad thing. I mean, that's an instant 12 points. That'll elevate you anywhere. A great week by Damian Harris.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp did his thing. But the story of the game for us, or for this game, was the last 4 guys on each team. So he got a combined like 11 points from those guys, tight end, flex, defense, kicker, while I got a good, 35, 40. So that really told the story. And that's pretty much why, because our top guys really duked it out, but the bottom 4, that secured me the dub.
Yeah, dude. I mean, anytime you can get double digits out of a kicker, that's a pretty good week. Getting a 12 out of Young Ho after telling Jeff to drop him Very, very great. But yeah, that Mike Gesicki pick is really paying off. I mean, man, that guy started off the season like shit. And then he's been really nothing short of fantastic since then. But yeah, I don't know. Tom Brady like lost sight of the fact that he had more receivers on the team than Mike Evans. I don't know why he was getting every single ball. Because I had some parlays with some other guys getting some touchdowns, and he kept throwing it to Mike Evans, which really pissed me off. But yeah, you got a really nice showing on Thursday night too. I mean, Thursday night games are always pretty dicey as we're watching this one right now. Kyler's only got 3 points through almost the whole first quarter, which is great for me. I hope that sticks. But yeah, getting a great score on Thursday night is always an awesome leg up. So that Dearness Johnson play was pretty solid. Great pickup off waivers. But yeah, James had a solid week, man. This is a tough loss. He picked up Khalil Herbert. I dropped him, but he put up a solid number. He was playing the Bucks, and David Montgomery is going to come back eventually. That's why I dropped him. I didn't think he was going to be a viable starter for that long. But good pickup by James. I mean, he had a great week versus a very great Tampa Bay defense. And as a Bears fan, I do love to see that. So not mad about that either way. But yeah, man, tough L for James, but a great week from you. And I think you really needed it sitting at 1-5, or you were sitting at 1-5. So this had to be a great week for you to show that you might be able to turn around here before Christian comes back.
Yeah, even Nick Chubb, when he comes back over this week, I know Dearness did what pretty much Chubb could do too, so I wasn't, missing Chubb, but I don't think Dearness does that every week like Chubb usually does every week, so I want both of them back. Excuse me. But the story about Young Ho, I know Ryan kind of jabbed, but I did tell Jeff to drop him because Jeff was doing an injury on Monday night, or I don't know really what the story is, but he needed to drop somebody. And I was like, Young Ho's on a bye. You can always drop him to get another receiver on Monday night. And he actually did. He picked up Cole Beasley. He dropped Young Ho. He did not play Cole Beasley, which would have won him the game against you. I think. We might have to fact check that. And he went with A.J. Brown. I know A.J. Brown got a touchdown, so that actually might not be true. But I know Cole Beasley went off that game. So I don't know really why he dropped Young Ho, because he didn't play Cole Beaslly. So I don't know what that was. But he also could have re-picked Young Ho up the next week, but he didn't. So I nabbed him. So that was the story.
I think what it was he picked up Cole Beasley in case A.J. Brown was like a scratch before the game, but he wasn't, and so he didn't play Beasley.
But why would you drop? Like, you could, like, if he was a scratch like 15 minutes before the game, like, just drop him then.
I don't know, man. Maybe Jeff got nervous. I don't know. I can't tell you. All I know is that I saw immediately that waiver day that you picked up Young Ho. I was like, savage as fuck.
Well, I think he was my second waiver pickup because I think Dearness Johnson was my first, and then Young Ho was my second. So he could have nabbed – anybody could have nabbed Young Ho, actually. But anyway.
Pretty funny, though. Pretty funny.
It is pretty funny. But we'll go to Chewy and Johnny's game, which Johnny gave our undefeated team his first L. Chewy did not – I mean, 101's not bad, but what do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, Johnny just got a ridiculous performance out of Jamar Chase, and that kind of sealed the deal for it, I feel like. Without that, like if Jamar Chase gets like an average 15 points, this game's a completely different story. But that having a 30 on your team is just a great start to have. And then Kyler obviously is Kyler. His running backs did super solid. The bottom half here from tight end down to kicker, I mean, all single digits there. But again, if a guy drops a 30 ball and your quarterback's still putting up a 20 piece, it's, you're going to have a pretty good week. He caught Chewy on a slow week. I feel like Chewy's team is definitely capable of dropping more than 118, but maybe with some buys and some other things, he drops the 101 and takes the L. I'm happy about it because I didn't want Chewy to continue to be undefeated. That just makes it harder for us to get in the playoffs. So I'm happy Johnny wins this game. But, yeah, I think he really just caught Chewy on a slow week, and he had a pretty solid week himself. Yeah,
actually, Johnny had the worst buys. He had Zeke on a bye and Thielen on a bye. He actually played the two Raiders running backs, which actually worked out very well because they got about 30 points combined.
Yeah.
So that was a hell of a play. But DK got like a 84-yard touchdown, like the third play of that Monday night game. So that I don't know. I think Johnny was like down, but no, he was actually up. He was up by like a point, but that DK just really sealed the deal after, like, it was like the third play, I think, or something like that. Yeah, like you said, Jamar Chase went off. Chewy's team, Darrell Henderson actually had a slow week, 8 points. Yeah, nothing much to say. I mean, we're just glad Chewy lost. We wish Chris would have lost too. We'll get to his game actually next. Yeah, so I guess I know we didn't talk about this game too much, but good win by Johnny. He is now 5-2. I think there's four 5-2 teams in your division, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, so John, like I've liked Johnny's team since probably like week 2. I know I clowned on him before the season started, but his team actually looks very consistent and is very good so far. So I think if you're asking me, I know I haven't done the power rankings in a while. I think Johnny is the best team in that division.
Hang on. We didn't talk about that one as long as the first one. I was just gonna say, Johnny actually hit me up this week because I was talking to him he was talking to me about how he's gonna win it all, and I told him that he wasn't, obviously, and he's like, "Well, I hear you talking all this stuff about how my team's scary and stuff on the pod," and I was like, "All right, well, just because I think your team's scary doesn't mean you're gonna win it all." So Johnny's got first place on his mind, and he's getting a little too confident. I do like his team here, but I don't know. Just because I think it's scary doesn't mean I'm worried about it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean this team is without Zeke and Thielen right now. So you put Zeke in with Drake, and you put Thielen in instead of McCole Hardman. It's a little bit. I mean, it's a lot more scary because McCole Hardman's not good at all, or not that good, I should say. You got me at 2.8. That was a weird start. Did he have somebody better? Yeah, AJ Green, Ronald Jones. No, oh well. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think this is the best team in that division. I think we'll get to the next game. I think Chris probably has the best team. I think Chris's team is better than Chewy's in our division. So, but I'm really glad to see Chewy take an L. Travis Kelce's actually had a very slow couple weeks, just like the Chiefs as a whole.
Few weeks. Those are not Kelce numbers there.
Yeah, those, yeah. You see the first 2 numbers, that's like first-round draft pick. I mean, I guess they're a lot better than I actually thought. I thought he had a couple more single-digit points, but maybe 10 is considered single digits for Kelce. But he just, I mean, the Chiefs have not been good the past 3 weeks. I think they explode this week against they play like Denver, I think. They play somebody who's not that good. It's not Denver. Yeah, who is it? It's not a good team.
It's the Giants on Monday.
Yeah, so Giants on Monday. I think they kill the Giants. It's probably at Arrowhead too, so that makes it even more. I think it's gonna be a blowout.
Yeah, I hope so because I keep making parlays about them too, and they suck. But yeah, I like I said, I still think Chewy's team has a slow week here. I think he's definitely capable of putting up more. He did have a couple buys, but yeah, I again happy that Chewy takes the L here. Just gives us one more loss towards that. Have no more undefeated teams, and standings are wide open. All right, now we can go to the next one. I wanted to say that spiel on Johnny.
So we don't have any more undefeated teams, but we still have a defeated team, which is
Jeff, man.
Jeff. And I know we'll get to Jimmy's team next, actually, who got his first dub. But this actually looked like a Jeff dub for the longest time.
Oh, man, it sure did.
I mean, he wasn't texting us that like, oh, I got this, I'm not worried. He was still like pretty like, oh, I need to finish. And I even texted him like, hey, just finish this game. You got it. Khalif Raymond had a couple garbage time catches that got him probably like 4 or 5 more points. And the final drive the Lions had, maybe not that many, but he had a couple more points in that final drive. I was like, I think Jeff's like, I was more confident than Jeff. And I was like, Jeff's got this. Like, he definitely has this. But
he definitely looked like he had it, man. It was so close.
So close. And the way that Jeff lost with that Pittman touchdown, he definitely could have been tackled before he got in the end zone.
Yeah. Jeff had to have been sick watching that.
Like I was sick. Well, I mean, I didn't even watch it. Honestly, I didn't have anybody. I didn't have any. Was that Monday night or Sunday night?
That was Sunday night.
Yeah, I didn't have any. I mean, I locked I locked my win up after 4 o'clock. But I watched the replay and I was like, oh my god, I would be so sick. I feel like we've had a lot of victories by other people that the loser had just a sick way of losing. I think Chris was one of them with the maybe his last loss. I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, but I think his kicker. No, that thing was like 3 weeks ago. He the kicker missed an extra point, which would have won the game.
Yeah.
And then I had Rodrigo miss that 45-yarder to win the game, and then Dom beat me. Like we've had a lot of heartbreak losses. I feel like.
Yeah, or Jeff last week needed like one more point out of AJ Brown to beat me, and it just fell short just by a slim margin. And then even me on this week with Rudy, the Monday night with Kamara, like I came back from like 23 points, and Rudy takes a tough L, and we'll get to that later. But yeah, I agree. Like we've had a lot of these like last minute, determined by the Sunday or Monday night game, just heartbreak L's. And Jeff, unfortunately, our only team without a win, suffers one of those losses this week. And man, it's hard not to feel for the guy, but it's also like, hey, welcome to the fucking league, buddy. Welcome to the fucking league.
He actually had like a good, like, what did he get? 110? 110 is very good. Like he actually had a good week. AJ Brown showed up. His two running backs got a touchdown each. Calvin Ridley I think Calvin Ridley's looked bad this year. Like I know, like we talk about how I actually thought he was going to be the best wide receiver this year, but he has looked bad.
Yeah, but think about who we got him for. Miles Sanders.
Which is also worse. Yeah.
I would still much rather have Ridley.
Yeah, but I'm just saying as like a whole, like he should be a top like 5 receiver in the league. And he is what he's probably like not even top 25.
I mean, that Atlanta offense is just tough, man. Or like brutal. They're just brutal to watch. I mean, look at Mike Davis, man. He hasn't done shit at all this year either. And I mean, that Falcons offense is just a dud, man.
Yeah, I mean, Cordell's really the featured back in that, I think now. I don't know. I know I talked to James a little bit after a game, and he's like, Mike Davis sucks. Like he's done.
Yeah. That guy was not a low draft pick.
No, I think he was like a 4th or 5th rounder. I think a lot of people were high because he did so well at the Panthers, and then now he's just not doing well with the Falcons. But just talking about Chris's team, I think with what I said last a couple minutes ago, I think Chris's team is a little better than Chewy's. I like Jalen Hurts. I think this guy isn't really that good at throwing the ball, but he always gets 20 points. Like he has not got a score lower than 20. And look at these, like his last, he's only like 198, 115, 236, 190.
Yeah.
Like he's not passing the ball, but if you go to his carries, his rushing touchdowns, he's got 2 rushing touchdowns the last 2 games. Wow, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, yards and touchdowns. I mean, this is why I won the league 2 years ago with Lamar Jackson. I don't think he was putting up stellar passing numbers his second year, but he was just rushing the ball all the time. And that's what Jalen Hurts does. I think Jalen Hurts was a 9th round pick. 11th round pick. So I think I even said this in my first power rankings. I think that was a steal at 11th round. I think I passed with him for Matthew Stafford because I think I got Stafford in the 10th round. So that was kind of a mistake on my end. But I also like Derrick Henry. He's been a dog this year. I think this team is better than Chewy's team. I don't know if you think that, or what's your thoughts on that?
I don't know, man. It's tough because Chewy's team is also deep on the bench. The last couple of times I've looked at his scores, like he is was not only putting up crazy scores on his roster, but then also on the bench he had a bunch of guys. But I agree. I mean, Chris's team is definitely. I think those guys are like teetering on our top teams as of right now. And don't take this as that I'm scared of either of you or worried about either of you. All right, I'm not. I will beat both of you. I'm not. Well, Chris. I think Chris beat me, but I will beat Chewy. And if I see Chris in the playoffs, I'll beat him then. But anyway, I do think those guys are probably our top teams. I mean, Chris's team just looks good. Maybe without Darnell Mooney in there. I mean, the Bears' offense has just been brutal. But I think he might have had some buys this week too, right?
Well, yeah, Darren Waller that was hurt, so he's also on the team. Yeah, and Keenan Allen was, and James Robinson.
And
Yeah,
James
he did have a
Robinson.
lot of buys.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, and Jerry Jeudy on IR coming back this week. That's another piece in his team. Yeah. So you know what? I might edge Chris a little bit over Chewy. Like even looking at his bench and his buys and stuff. Yeah, I think Chris probably does have maybe the best team right now. I mean, he's been putting up solid numbers, and he's 5-2, right? Or is he 6-1?
6-1.
6-1, yeah. So there you go. They're tied for the best record. Probably the top two teams, but I think I would, after looking at this, I think I would give Chris the slight edge right now.
I will have to agree. So we'll go to Jimmy and Lubasi's team or game.
Another brutal one.
Another brutal one. This was Jimmy's first win. The Saints defense got Jimmy the win. They needed 10. Oh, they actually only needed they only needed 9 points. They got him 10. I don't know if this happened late in the game. I don't know if you know, but did they get like a sack at the end, or do you know anything?
Oh yeah.
On that?
Oh, that was a fourth quarter dub for Jimmy when they got that final sack to give him 10 points. I mean, this was just a Geno Smith, what's the word I'm looking for? Atrocity. This was a Geno Smith atrocity. I mean, the guy looked like dog shit out there. He couldn't do anything, and the Saints just kept getting sack after sack. And like that first 84-yard touchdown to DK Metcalf was like the last good play the Seahawks made.
Wasn't that like the third play of the game?
Yeah. It was like the first or the second drive. I'm not sure, but it was very early, and it was the last good thing that they did, except play good D. They did play good defense on the Saints, but I mean, obviously, as you can tell with the low score, but the offense, horseshit, terrible.
Yeah, and that's crazy. Do you know what Jameis Winston had for this game?
No, but it couldn't have been too good.
Was it better than 2.44?
It had to probably have been better than 2.44. I don't think. Yeah, I mean, Darnold didn't even throw a touchdown. Jameis did throw for one touchdown to Kamara.
And Lubasi had Jameis Winston in his lineup for the longest time.
Yeah, I think he changed it last minute.
Yes, he got it. So Winston didn't throw any picks. 222 yards and a touchdown. I'm just looking at the stats. So that's at least like double-digit points. So, so Lubasi actually lost himself the game on that one.
Yeah, that was a brutal loss. But even with that 2 points from his quarterback, he was in this game until the fourth quarter of that Monday night game. All he needed was the Seahawks to like move the ball in a positive direction, and they could not do it, man. They could not do it. They could not stop that Saints rush. I mean, the Saints do have a really good defense, but dude, just a brutal loss here. But I mean, both of these guys had a pretty good week. Jimmy's team, I've said it to you guys, like his team is better than what his record is for sure. He's been taking some pretty tough losses this year, but he finally edges one out, and in amazing fashion, but to beat Lubasi by 1 point here.
Yeah, Lubasi had all these buys. I mean, his two best players, Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, and then Mike Williams and the defense all had buys. So he had his worst bye week, and he actually almost made it out alive with the dub. Aaron Jones just actually scored for Dom, so good job, Dom, if you played him, which I don't know why you wouldn't play him. But yeah, just brutal loss for Lubasi. I think he kind of went into this game knowing he probably was going to lose, but when he had that shot and the fact that Sam Darnold did what he did, I bet he's sick. I know he's sick.
Yeah, I mean, you get your hopes up. No matter what you're going in expectations are. Like if you're going into the Monday night game with a shot, you are emotionally in it. Like there's nothing that you can tell yourself to convince it otherwise. Like you are in it, and this, like, that is tough, man. That's a tough loss. I'm glad he lost because he's got a pretty good team, and see him at 3-4 is pretty good for the playoff structure for me, but that's brutal, man.
Yeah, and I mean, one bright spot I guess you can take from Lubasi's team is Kyle Pitts actually did something this game, and he actually looked like a top. I guess he did something 2 weeks ago too, but he was looking really good. He had some great catches. He had a one-handed catch on the sidelines that was really cool when I was watching that game. So it does look like Pitts is starting to become a factor on that offense, and that kind of sucks for Calvin Ridley because it seems that Calvin Ridley is going down while Kyle Pitts is going up, which is what Lubasi wants to see. But we'll go to your matchup with Rudy, which was a game all the way that happened till Monday night. So what do you think about this game?
Yeah, I honestly, at a certain point, figured that I was definitely out of this game, especially after Deebo Samuel got that late touchdown on Sunday night. Once that happened, I was like, shit, man. I mean, Kamara hasn't been doing anything. I was down like 23, and they finally started passing Kamara the ball again, like they always have. Like, it was almost like they came out of the bye like, oh, shit, yeah, we were supposed to be doing this before, and we weren't. And now they start passing the ball. He got 10 catches, which is 2 catches away from a touchdown amount of points. I always look for the 12 reception plays. 12 receptions is a touchdown. I love doing that in half-point PPR. But just like what a finish to this. And I pull off another sneaky dub. I feel like my team, like no matter what happens, like whoever sucks this week, and this week it was my quarterback, obviously, someone always steps up as the next man up, and we find a way to win. And I'm happy with this team. This was my what is going on? This was my second worst bye weeks because I have Justin Herbert out. And last week I had Kamara out on bye and a few others. So I got through my worst buys, but got dubs in both. I'm pretty happy right now. What do you think about this?
Yeah, it was a good game. I think, though, the thing that I was worried about Kamara this year was that he didn't have Breeze at the quarterback position, so those dump-off passes, because I had Kamara last year, and I just love those dump-off passes because Breeze can't really throw that far anymore. So I was worried about that when Jameis, who has a really big arm, and he likes to force stuff that shouldn't be forced.
Yeah.
And you kind of see it this year with Kamara. He hasn't done that great, but this week he, did what he usually did with the 10 receptions. He didn't really have that good of a rushing day, but who needs a rushing day when you got 10 receptions for 128 yards and a touchdown?
Exactly.
But yeah, his last 2 games have actually been pretty good. Actually, he's actually not been too bad this year. I thought he's done a little bit worse than he did.
He only had one bad week, but the couple weeks that 12, I definitely would like to have more than 12 from him on most weeks.
He didn't have a reception that game.
Yeah, I mean, they were just not looking at him in the pass game much in the season until this week. I mean, he did get some catches before, but it didn't really make an apparent way onto the scene until this week, I feel like. And he did it in a big way. I got the dub. Justin Herbert's back this week, so I do not have to start Justin Fields. That was obviously I missed on that reach. I had a game plan. I knew it was risky, but I fortunately have Justin Herbert, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, just talking about Rudy's team, Patrick Mahomes did not have a good game. That's pretty much what lost him the game. And also Miles Sanders got hurt in the first quarter, I believe. I had Miles Sanders for daily, and I think it was the first quarter, so you got saved by that. Any of those things that I think if Miles Sanders plays the whole game, I think he gets Rudy 4 more points.
I don't know, man. Miles Sanders is pretty bad.
Yeah, but he was actually getting looks that game. Like I said, I think it was the first quarter, and he already had 3.2. I know this isn't going to show me, but yeah, he had 6 carries for 30. So it might have been maybe second quarter. I'm not too sure, but I remember when he did go down. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes was the big thing. He did not have a good game, and I don't think he really has had a good game since being on Rudy's team.
He definitely had his worst game of probably 2 seasons this week. Did I get a little bit lucky here? Maybe I did. But yeah, I was definitely not mad to see Mahomes finish with a 7.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, good for you, bad for Rudy. Tyler Lockett again with a 2.2. I mean, this guy, nothing really much to say about that guy. But the good thing about Rudy is he does have Gainwell, so he can really just swap Miles Sanders for Gainwell, and it's probably an upgrade, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly, it probably is. Gainwell's been getting a lot of looks out of the backfield, so he's probably going to be a receptions monster. And yeah, he's still rolling with the 2 tight end look. It did pay off for him this week. I mean, he got 24 out of those spots, but we'll see if he continues to play that. I mean, I guess I don't really see a whole lot of other options outside of Christian Kirk maybe. But until Saquon comes back, he's probably rocking the double tight ends moving forward.
I think Saquon practiced. I don't know if he's going to play Monday, but I read that because I was reading Kadarius Toney. So he might get Saquon back. Maybe not this week, but maybe next week. I know ankles are crazy. That's what Tony has too. That's his name, right? Tony, or is it
Tony Jones?
It's Kadarius. No, Kadarius Toney, the receiver for the Giants.
Oh, your guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Rudy's other IR guy.
No, Kadarius Toney. I was reading that he practiced Wednesday, so did Saquon in a limited fashion. But they both have ankle injuries, and that just it's hard to be so explosive, especially how explosive Saquon is with an ankle injury.
Yeah.
So hopefully he doesn't rush it, because I really want to see him on the field for a prolonged time, because he's a very good football player. But we'll really go to the last game, which I don't know if we have to talk too much about this game.
That's the lowest score I may have ever seen in our fantasy league. I think we said this about one of Jeff's scores a couple weeks ago, but Jeff was at least, I think, maybe in the high 50s, 60s. Don't know if I've ever seen anyone not break 50. This is uncharted territory.
Yeah, we're gonna have to check it out. I think you're right, but I do want to just know what his lowest score was. So it was 64.6.
Yeah.
And then we go to our scoreboard. Here it is.
What are you looking for?
We go to Matt's game. Yeah, and he did not break 50. So I don't know if he wants us to talk about his game as much, because I would be embarrassed.
Yeah, a forgettable week. He had one guy put up double digits, and that was his quarterback, and everything from there just not great. I mean, he does have big buys, got Dak out and Najee out. That's probably a solid maybe 40 points. But man,
yeah, but Tannehill did 20, so he did pretty okay.
Yeah, I mean, even on a bad bye week, 49 points again, I think is maybe the worst we've ever seen.
Yeah, his defense and kicker got 0 points combined.
Robbie Anderson just stinks, man.
No, he's bad. Yeah, he's bad. He's the guy there. Of course, this is the week after did I play Matt last week, or was that 2 weeks ago? No, I played Matt last week. Yeah, of course, this is the week after I play Matt. I think Matt scored about a 120 on me last week. So, yeah, just a bad week by Matt. We won't say too much. I think we'll move to Dom's team.
Probably appreciate that.
Yeah, Dom didn't really have that great of a week. 101, over 100, but I think we had Chewy go 101 too. Yeah, this is probably like the third or fourth worst score. I think everyone broke 100.
We had three 101s.
Yeah, you too. Yeah. So yeah, 2 people did not break 100, which was Rudy and Matt. So Dom had probably a bottom score with that 101. I mean, not a great week, not a great week, not a bad week, but Aaron Jones got a touchdown today, so that was pretty cool. Good for him. Yeah, Aaron Jones did not be good.
That's tough to see a 6.4 out of your RB1 spot. I mean, It happens to the best of us. We just saw Kamara's. He had like a 5-point game. It sucks that it happens, but lucky for Dom, it happened on a week when he was playing a guy that put up 49 points. So, I mean, Dom could have not started a quarterback and still won this game. Just Yeah, I don't know. I keep thinking about that 49, man. Wow. But yeah, great. Dom's receiving core looked great in this game. Chris Godwin and Marquise Brown, and I think he even had some guys on bye as well, Claypool and CeeDee Lamb. So those are both starters too. I mean, Dom's got pretty good receiving core here. Obviously, Aaron Jones isn't going to put up 6 points only very often. Like you said, he's already got a touchdown tonight. So probably not worried if I'm Dom here. I'm happy to come out with a dub. What a lucky play or a lucky opponent. Man, anybody would love to play somebody that's putting up a 49.
Yeah, I mean, and probably the best pickup, maybe not the best pick of the year, or this was a draft pick, but Marquise Brown has been on fire. I think watching that game during the red zone, I think I saw a stat where he had like the last 10, 11 games that Marquise Brown's been on, he's had like the most touchdowns out of any receiver. Yeah, and these numbers, I guess you get the 5.5 and 6.8, but he's had a pretty good year for being a 11th round pick.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, he was obviously not too high on anyone's radar, but outside of those couple games, and I feel like those were 2 games where he just couldn't catch. I mean, we watched one of those where he just kept dropping passes. And that was definitely one of his bad weeks. But outside of those, I mean, like you said, he's been pretty spectacular. Definitely good for Dom. You love to see that out of a guy that is probably going to be in his flex most weeks with CeeDee Lamb on the bench. So, yeah, if I'm Dom, I'm pretty happy about this performance. And again, you can't get better than playing a guy that puts up 49 points.
Yeah, so yeah, good win by Dom, 5-2. We'll go to the standings. We'll see a lot of 5-2s in the other division, and we'll see 2 6-1s. That was actually a big loss for Lubasi against Jimmy. With that win, he's 4-3, and
4.
And now he's 3-4. But if he beat Jimmy, he's 4-3, which looks a lot better than 3-4.
Yeah, I got you.
So that's actually a really big loss for Lubasi. And then he sees me, who's coming off a really good week. But I think he's projected to beat me by about 7. Hopefully he has a Matt week and puts up 26.
I don't think he's going to like that idea, but we'll see.
Yeah, so 5-2s. I mean, like I said, I think Johnny is the best out of that division. You actually have the most playoff odds to come out of that division. I don't know how that's calculated, but you do have the best.
Probably by smart people, man.
Yeah, so I don't know. This is very top heavy. We have 4 5-2s and 2 6-1s. I need to start winning, of course, on all. So does James, and so does Rudy. But we also need to have people lose, like Chris and Chewy, and then have that division start losing against each other as well. So I don't know. Things can get interesting, but it's very tight race right now with the people on top. It's a very tight race so far.
Yeah, definitely a battle of 5-2s. I'm actually playing Johnny this week right now. So this is a pretty big game for me. If I can come out of this game with a dub, I might finally earn some people's respect that have just been disrespecting me for a long time and I don't appreciate. So hopefully I can come out of this with a dub and get my name on the radar. But yeah, it's a very tight race. I hope whoever Chewy and Chris are playing this week beats them, unless they're playing each other. Are they playing each other?
No, I think that's next week. I think.
Oh wait, I have the stuff up right now. Chris is playing James and Chewy is playing Matt. So definitely 2 games where they could possibly catch an L. I would definitely love to see that. Love to see you beat Lubasi. And yeah, Jeff and Jimmy are playing, and now Jeff's the only winless team, and Jimmy finally got his dub, so that game's not quite as much on the line there, but we'll see if Jeff finally pulls out his first win of the season. And then Dom's playing Rudy, so that's another 5-2.
We need Rudy to win that one. So yeah, at the end, we'll just kind of go points for.
We don't need to talk about this.
So James is actually have the most points, and I think we've kind of talked about that. It's kind of top heavy. I think he's got the 2 highest point totals in 2 weeks. So that's a little skewed. I think Chewy's been a little bit more consistent, which you can see in the records. That's probably why. Yeah, and you can see why you don't get any respect because you have the second lowest point total of the league, and it's still 5-2. So you've gotten a lot of lucky matchups. But then we'll go points against, which you're on top. And then I'm surprised Dom isn't right next to you at that 49 that Matt just dropped. But
I got good defense. That's why.
Yeah, so you got good defense. But yeah, you can see, I think you mentioned it in this podcast, Jimmy has just had terrible matchups, and you can see why. So has Lubasi, so has me. And Lubasi's 3-4. That's not really that good. But yeah, you can see why we have losing records when you're in the bottom 5 here. That's what we all have, losing records, and that's a really big indication of fantasy. And that's kind of what sucks about it, but that's also why we love it.
That's right. And I'm sitting at 3-1 with a division record. So I'm pretty happy about that. That's my playoff tiebreaker right there. So I just got to keep skating through the division. This is a huge matchup this week versus Johnny for me, but definitely big matchups across the league.
Yeah, it's definitely huge for you and Johnny. Where's Johnny at? Oh, I guess Johnny is 2-2. So I guess he is a bigger matchup for Johnny than it is for you, just because he needs that division win to tie you in divisions and actually go up a game on you. So really big W needed by Johnny this week. And then same thing kind of with me and Lubasi. I know we're kind of bottom of the tier here in records, but another division win could really propel us when we're tied with somebody trying to get into the playoffs. So this is another big game. So if you're in a division matchup this week, I don't know, I think a lot of us are. Division matchups, I think I say this every week, are very important this year.
Yeah, and that makes it a lot more exciting when you are playing interdivision. So, man, good luck to everybody out there that is. I'm a little bit nervous, but also excited about this matchup with Johnny. Kyler Murray's only got 3 points, and it's almost halftime. So, fingers crossed.
All right, yeah, I think that does this for this. But I think this is a pretty long podcast again.
Yeah,
we always say we're going to cut this one, cut it short, but we just ramble, and this is what happens. So I'm ready to watch this game. So I don't know if you have any closing arguments.
Nope, I don't. Good luck to everybody out there this week, except for Johnny, of course. And we will catch you guys next week for the Week 8 recap.
Peace.
Peace.